We are back on Get Up again, coming off of an unbelievable night in the NBA. We just ran through the controversy in New York, and then there was this in Denver. While the world champion Nuggets were getting absolutely blown out in Game 2 at home, you see that object. It's a heating pad, I believe is the exact word to describe it, that was thrown onto the floor by Jamal Murray, who was frustrated in the moment. Thankfully, no one was injured. No penalty of any kind was assessed, no technical, no nothing. It should point out, and we can show you again, that Murray earlier had tried to throw a towel onto the floor in the direction of a referee. It didn't quite reach the floor, and a ball boy winds up grabbing it. This is the towel, and you will see as it is sort of sitting there right behind the official who doesn't even seem to notice that it's there. Here's the heating pad. Sorry, the towel will come up next. This is the heating pad video again. This is the towel. You see it coming up behind him there. And the officials didn't notice that one either. So what exactly? The crew chief is Mark Davis, and we should point this out again. He's one of the most respected officials in the NBA.
Head of the referees union.
Windy, what did he say after the game?
So he said that had they seen it, which they didn't, he would have faced a technical. Now, I don't know this rule about a player throwing on the court. If you throw something off the court, I'm talking about you take a piece of gum out of your mouth and chuck it into the second row, no negotiation, automatic ejection. Yeah. I would have thought that it would have been the same rule coming on the court. But Mark Davis, who had a chance to fully understand this before answering it, it wasn't like he did it right after he walked off the court, said no, it would have been a technical, would not have been an ejection. He made that very clear.
It's worth adding that if any fan threw anything onto the floor, they would be ejected immediately, and rightfully so.
And they'd face a lifetime ban from the arena.
Yes, right. If a season ticket holder threw an item like that onto the floor, the league or the team would be well within their rights to take that person's tickets away forever, because you cannot, the number one rule is you cannot endanger the safety of the players on the floor. Jamal Murray, in a moment of frustration, clearly did that. So what should happen?
He should be suspended for a game. I don't think it's I don't think it's a real thing. I mean, I think it's a thing to say if you throw something on the floor, if that could have led to the injury of a player, if the same rule applies for you throwing something into the fans, you're telling me that's a loophole then. There's a loophole that we're going to abide by.
There's just not really precedent for this, Jay.
There's no rule because
that's what I'm saying. It's a loophole.
Some things don't need to be said out loud. Like, oh, really? Should I have not thrown an item onto the floor while the players were out there? What am I, George Costanza? All of a sudden, was that wrong? If someone had told me this was frowned upon, you can't throw something on the floor during a game.
Every year in the preseason, somebody comes in, they give everybody in the locker room a financial literacy talk. You know, nobody's ever come in and talked about this. I can tell you that right now. Guys, don't throw anything on the court in the middle of the lane while 5 guys are trying to rebound a basketball. So maybe that's what it is. It's just uncharted territory. They don't know what to do with this because there's nothing in the rule book.
He's definitely getting fined, but that's really immaterial.
Fine.
It'd be very surprising if he's not suspended. I don't want him to be, by the way, because I want to see Denver's best response they have to what happened to them last night, which was just physical domination.
But it's what should happen, not what we want to happen.
I agree.
I'm with you on what I want to happen because, frankly, Minnesota's been locking them up, frankly, and they've been beating them up defensively. But still, throwing something on the floor, if you go back and you review that video, Karl Anthony Towns' right foot, literally as he's planting, is a couple of inches away from that. What happens hypothetically if his foot were to hit
these things, and I know no one ever uses these in the wild. They're probably still using the same heating pads they did with you guys.
That look just like it.
Look at his right foot.
They have some weight to them, by the way.
Right there.
It's a soft-ish pad that players put around their body when they're out of the game to stay warm. They wrap it in towels. It's like old,
and they're wet.
Old technology.
They are wet.
They're wet as well.
They pull those out of a container that's got hot water in it. They pull them out.
It's like 1960s technology. I have no idea why it's still used, but that's what it is. It's like this. It's like this thick. And it's a little bit soft, and it's dimpled and ridged, and like if you stepped on it, you could turn your ankle, you could turn your knee.
But not Karl Anthony Towns could have split his legs.
Why don't he could have slid out?
He pivoted hard off his right foot.
I appreciate all of this insight, but I think the point is you can throw, if you throw anything on the court, I think you should be ejected, right? There's nothing you can throw on the court that is okay. If the towel hits the referee, I don't even know what happens. It's not dangerous. The ref's not going to get hurt by the towel, but Something's just
Gritty, something so
shouldn't have to be
obvious.
said out loud. It's
Something-
so obvious. If you throw something on the floor, you have to be suspended. They got unbelievably unlucky, Denver did, that the officials didn't see it last night, because that game is already over in the second quarter.
Murray
They
is
would have
also-
ejected him from that
Here's
game,
why he's going to
and
get
he would be
suspended,
able to
Gritty.
play game 3.
It's going viral. Everybody's talking about it. We're not talking about Minnesota dominating Denver.
We're also not
we
talking
should be
about Jamal
talking about-
Murray going 3 of 18 in
Yes.
one of the worst playoff games of his career.
Wanna try to boast at what I look like. Think I'm gonna try to wear, I pull up long range. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's NBA over here, feeling fun.